So, welcome to another episode of mini series called Be One of the Voices and Student Success Spotlight. Today is on Don Ingram. Hello, Don.
Hello, Anetta.
Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate that you've taken this time to chat with me. So you are part of the current cohort of the Trauma-Informed Somatic Teacher and Coach for Women training certification. And I had a pleasure of working with you before because you completed also the 80-hour Trauma-Informed Yoga teacher training a few years back. And so I wanted to start with maybe if you could say a few words about the work that you do, because you've got quite a specific niche within which you work.
Yes. So I teach yoga and Pilates. I do one-to-one sessions, and I do some face-to-face, but the face-to-face are generally, mixed group abilities. But my one-to-ones are quite specific. I like to work with people that have got scoliosis or spinal conditions, slip discs, sciatica, that kind of thing. So over the years, where I've done various trainings, like yoga for scoliosis, Pilates, then I've done scolio Pilates training, which is absolutely brilliant. I then started doing online coaching for Strength and Spine, who offer scoliosis-specific strength training programs, and the whole thing has just sort of like blown my mind. And it is quite a niche. We don't have enough people here in the UK working with people with scoliosis. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And of course, I've got scoliosis myself, so I know what it's like. I know not just the physical issues that you get with scoliosis, but also the emotional, baggage that you get, from, for example, if you grow up with the scoliosis, being at school, having to wear a brace, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge living with a condition like that really impacts you, that can bring a lot of pain on a physical level, and the suffering and the kind of mental health stuff, and emotional responses. Yeah, it's quite a challenging thing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
So I wonder, if you could say a few words about why did you sign up for the training? Because you've done a lot of training, you've got a lot under your belt. So what kind of drew you to the training that you're doing now?
Yes. Well, there's two reasons. The first reason was that, or is that, as you say, I've been doing all these trainings because I found that not one specific training worked for everybody or every scoliosis. So that's why I kind of looked at other things, strength training, Pilates and so on. But I felt that when I read the content of the course, that it would, because I do like to work holistically, I felt like this course was absolutely perfect for just gluing it all together, if that makes sense. It just brings everything together under an umbrella that I absolutely love, which is wanting to work with people in a more somatic and a more embodied kind of way. And secondly, and this is purely selfish, I wanted to work on myself. I thought this was just everything that I read about it. I just thought I could really do this for myself. I could really just work on, reconnecting. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but reconnecting with myself. I've done all these trainings and just different systems and just different things, that I've kind of like lost my way a little bit. And of
Mm.
course, I've gone through the menopause, and come out the other side, but there's still this little bit of disconnect. And I just really wanted to work on myself and my own traumas from over the years. And so started doing those non-negotiable practices. And yeah, and so those are the two main reasons why.
Yeah, I love that. So how was your experience of the training? Did it meet those needs?
Absolutely. In more ways than one. It just literally, yeah, it just met everything that I wanted. Um, and I just know that because you invest so much passion and the content and the detail that you put into your courses, I just knew that I was going to be getting more than value for money. Because the structure is just absolutely perfect. And also, I found that the structure allows each person that's on the course to flow at their own pace, that you go at your own pace. And we can all delve deeper into who we are at different levels, different times. And I think that's one of the things, or one of the aspects of your courses that make them quite unique. I don't think you get that with a lot of other courses.
I love that. I love that. So what changed? How did the material that we covered in the training change the way that you work? I mean, because you do a lot of different things. So I'm really curious how it kind of filtered into your work.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. So as I say, doing the sort of like the non-negotiable daily practice with checking in with myself, really thinking about the walking your talk and showing up, for yourself on a daily basis. That started making things change for me, the way I looked at things. And also being more made me kind of slow down and take a little step back and be more aware of meeting people where they're at when they come into my sessions, and you know and part being able to pass on that, the somatic checking in, and bringing more focus on orienting, if needed, through the sessions that we do. Um, and Yeah, so, a more grounding practice as well at the beginning of my session. So I'm focusing a little bit more on that, whereas I probably touched upon it, but maybe not enough.
Mm.
And some of the systems that we've looked at so far, like the IFS, and it made me a little bit more aware of what my clients might be actually experiencing or going through, um, and also help me to inquire a little bit more and try to extract a little bit more info from them, um, on that, on that nice even level, rather than, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we had conversations about before is what you were talking about, that there is a lot of focus on the physical side of, when somebody's living with scoliosis or they have
Yeah.
issues with mobility to do with their spine, that there is a lot of focus on strengthening and there is a lot of focus on mobility and movement, but there isn't enough focus on that holistic approach to really work with somebody as the whole system,
Yes.
as what they're presenting. So the mental health side of things
Yes.
often might not be as acknowledged or worked with. And that's an important part, isn't it?
It's it's a massive part. I've it's actually worse now than what it's ever been, I think, because of the way the NHS services now. With people having operations, cancelled, and I mean, and this is not just for adults. This is for children as well that have got quite severe scoliosis. But the mental health side of things is people don't think about it, but just for example, when I was at school, I was always kind of bullied because I had to wear what they called the Boston brace, which is like a big, thick plastic corset which held you in place. And of course, you could see it through the shape of it through clothing. And if you was to do any kind of like, go to the, do PE, physical education, the whole experience in the changing rooms, and it was just a horrible, traumatic time. And I mean, I'm pretty resilient, but there's people that maybe not be so much. And the trauma, I mean, I have seen it, I've experienced it with somebody that I've been working with. We was doing a little bit of yoga between strength training, and she was saying that I did a meditation practice of letting go. And she said it was really strange, but it actually brought up a lot of trauma from her childhood with, experiencing scoliosis growing up. And she said she felt relieved, that she was able to experience that through meditation and to let it go, which was really good. But yeah, there's just so much, around scoliosis. You can have like a huge curvature of the spine and experience no pain. You can have a small curvature and experience a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And
that's where the fascia work comes in, isn't it?
Yes,
And kind
it
of, and the mind-body connection, how
Yes.
we perceive it, and
Yes.
the sense of safety within the body, because you can live with things in your body. Nobody's body is perfect, but without actually building all the other stuff on top of it, which is
Yes.
more of that psychological and mental, emotional suffering that can come. And as you just said, with the bullying, the impact of it as you are growing up for the rest of your life, and how you perceive yourself, and what's your capabilities, your ability to respond to big and small challenges, and other people, and life itself can be really greatly impacted. And
Mhm.
acknowledging something like that
Yes.
can be just what your client experience, this kind of sense of relief for it being seen,
Yes.
for it being here. So amazing work that you are doing, to help somebody to have inner resources and outer resources and support to actually look after themselves and be held by others. Yeah. And I know that there is something else, it's like the community is a big part of the training. And I know that you made some connections and some kind of, working and resonating with participants, and working on projects together.
Yeah, this is one of the sort of like the things that I've really loved about this course is the community. As I said before, we've all been allowed to kind of sort of like unfold in our own ways. We all have something different to bring. We all have something different to say, but we're all very supportive of one another. And it's really great to come to, when we do our sessions, to come together as a group. And so you never feel isolated or alone, which is fabulous. Again, which you do get on some courses, you're just given stuff and you go away and you do it and you come back and so on. But this is really, it's like a family vibe almost. And yeah, I connected with Lou, and we're going to be working on a structure for a strength training program, including yoga and looking at kettlebells and bringing something together. So
Yeah,
I'm so
exciting.
excited. I'm so excited about this. And yeah, and Lou said something actually last week. She said about, she's really truly embodying the strength training, and what that brings and what that can give to people, alongside the yoga. So yeah, it's I'm really excited about it, I must admit.
Yeah, sounds really great. I know how important that is, now that I'm in my 50s. Before, the strength training was like, yeah, okay. But now as I'm older,
Yeah,
I'm kind of aware, like, well, strength training needs to be part of my routine. The somatics are really amazing. The yoga is amazing. Breath work is amazing. All those different practices. And I'm aware that I need to keep my body strong,
yeah,
because with age, obviously, we lose that strength. And, everything that comes with it, like losing the sense of balance and
yeah.
um, spatial awareness and the sense of safety and stability, which really, strength training really helps. So
It does. I mean, I've
definitely.
just seen some, over the years, and also working with strength and spine. I've, uh, where people have been experiencing pain, whether it's hip pain, whether it's pain, in the around the pelvis or the lumbar spine. The minute they start looking at things like postural correction and strengthening the core, it's surprising how much of those issues start to almost correct themselves.
Mm,
The body starts to adapt. And what I've experienced is that when people then do experience pain flare-ups, like we all do, the recovery time is a lot shorter, and
mm,
the pain doesn't stick around for so long. You just recover, a lot quicker. So there's a
yeah.
lot to be said with strength training.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And when you bring the trauma informed somatic approach to it and working with a person as a whole, as a system within a bigger system, yeah, that can be truly transformational for somebody.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if I ask you,
Hmm.
if well, let me ask first question, like what's the kind of thing that you love the most about the training? And there might be a number of things, but what are the kind of things that really resonated with you?
um, the sense of community, as I've
Hmm.
said, that is just key, because that makes everybody feel comfortable. Everybody is seen and everybody is heard, which is what I love. Um, the structure, because there's so much content, the structure is really well done and really well put together. So you don't feel like you're floundering any kind of way. There's always something to go back to. You do recordings of our set, of the group sessions. You have PDFs of the slides, so you can always refer back. But I think one thing that I do love about your emails, because your emails are so informative, and they have all the prompts for journaling, which is brilliant, because some people will say, go away and do your journaling, and you'll get there and you'll think, okay, so I'm going to journal about this session. And you'll sit there thinking, whereas you give prompts, think about this, or, think about what we did. And that's really helpful, so it's little
Hmm.
things like that I love. And yeah, just the whole sort of like structure. It made me feel, the course actually makes me feel quite grounded, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Um, so whereas, I'm in the process of streamlining, um, the course makes me feel grounded. And that is really important to me. So yeah.
Brilliant. Lovely. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes. And I mean, I got into yoga because of you, coming to your yoga sessions, and so that element of trust, is there already, and knowing how you teach. So yeah, and it's
Yes, I remember you used to come to the yoga studio. Yeah, our yoga studio. Yeah.
seems like such
It's
a
it's a
long
lot. It
time.
is a long time ago. Must have been like 10 years ago. It's a long time
Yes.
ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so if I could ask you, if you were to say something about if you were to say something about the course, or the way it's run, or who it is for, um, to somebody, to a female practitioner that is kind of listening, but maybe thinking, oh, maybe I do it later and maybe it's not the right time, or I don't know if it is for me, what would you say?
I would say now is the right time. I think the world needs more people to work in this kind of way, this embodied, the somatic way. Um, the content is, I mean, it just speaks for itself. We learn so much, about all the different systems, the different techniques, and just bringing that whole deeper level of the, soma, psyche, and soul. It is, and it's what, as I say, it's what people need today. I don't think, I mean, you've heard me say before about how society is. I don't think we're made for this society, and I think lockdown has sort of like proven that, to a lot of people. And I think it goes against our inbuilt nature to have to work in a certain way, or be a certain way, or be productive, be this, be that, without all the other stuff that you have to deal with, like, family issues, trauma, personal issues. So this is the training of today. This is like a leadership training. This is what everybody should be going for, I think, to help people and to work with people, and to be able to provide people with the tools to, um, you know, work with their trauma, their past, you know,
The experience.
their
Yeah.
experiences. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Dawn. And before we finish, if you could share where people can find you, if they want to connect, if they want to find out about the work that you do, or maybe work with you.
Yeah,
So how
sure.
can they find you?
Yeah, so my website is dawningram.co.uk. My company, or my business, is Posture Works. And I'm based in Westgate, but I do work online. I do a lot of coaching online, for strength and spine. If people wanted to head over there and have a look and see what work they do and what work, and then they'll get a real sense of the work that I'm actually involved with. And I run just 2 in-person sessions because I like to have that community base, here in Westgate. But yeah, and then I do one-to-ones. I do one-to-ones here, and as I say, on Zoom. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm on
Lovely.
Instagram. I am looking at getting a community page together. I have started it, and I will be posting out, um, I suppose, like either like a Facebook ad or boost post or something to promote that. And that will have, I will start to populate that with resources for people and show up and do some Facebook lives and things like that. So
Oh, brilliant. That sounds amazing. It's so many people live with that chronic pain and discomfort. So the work that you do is very, very good. So highly recommend it.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you
Lovely.
so much, Dawn.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.